Ciao ragazzi, CP here with another JuvePWR news update. JuvePWR, that's my channel. What's my aim? I want to bring you guys the best news out there concerning Juventus every day. That's what I want to do. So with that, let's jump right into the news. Everybody knows Juventus qualified for the Champions League yesterday with a 4-1 win away to Bologna. Goals from Rabiot, 2 from Morata and 1 from Chiesa. Great performances all around. The team was fantastic. Really, really great. We qualified with the helping hand of Ivan Juric's Verona. A serious helping hand, and we're eternally grateful to Verona, my new second favorite club. Let's jump into the newspapers. I want to see what they're talking about today. First, we go to Tutto Sport. So, what are we going to say? Giuseppe Bergami, former Inter defender, comments about Ronaldo being left out of the squad, out of the starting lineup. And he gives his interpretation. He says, Juve without Ronaldo, I interpret this evening's signal like this. There is a Juve that can do without Ronaldo, or have him on the bench and to bring into the game. What do I think about this? It's just his opinion. That's fine. I personally prefer to have Ronaldo available. 29 goals this year. What can I say? I simply can't do without that. So yeah, moving on now. Gazzetta dello Sport. The words of Pirlo, the choice, again, this is about Ronaldo, the choice was shared with Ronaldo. He was tired after Wednesday and had made himself available to the team. Even so, he says, I played Morata, a Spanish international, and I was calm about it. Of course, Morata is a well-capable striker. He's had a very good season despite illness. He's had a very, very good season. He's very capable, and he performed excellently yesterday, guys. He chased down every ball. He put so much pressure on the opposition, and he got 2 goals. He could have even had a hat-trick. Potentially could have had a penalty incident as well. So that's great. And, quickly going to there was a major controversy after the Verona game, the Verona-Napoli game. Sky Sports reporter gave a rather inappropriate, suggestive question to Juric. He says, Juric, tonight you were the referee of the Champions League qualification. Your Verona looked different than the one seen in recent weeks. How difficult it was. And, Juric, again, he took the height of offense to this straight away. He says, immediately, a big shit. You have to respect, because if you have not followed the last matches of Verona, you cannot speak like that. And I agree with him, guys. And so does, an awful lot of people. Claudio Marchisio came out in support of him already today. A Juventus legend. And of course, so, what do they expect that Verona are just going to go out and roll over? They've got 11 players. They have a team and they want to do well. And they don't have to apologize for doing it either. Of course they want to do well. They went a goal down, and why shouldn't they want to come back? That's their own business, and fair play to them. And I support Juric and Verona. And it's also noteworthy. Hellas Verona's president came out and made a statement, and this was out on Twitter. President Setti and Hellas Verona FC, in order to protect the sporting values that have characterized the club on this occasion as well, underlines the inappropriateness of the questions addressed directly to their coach in the post-match Napoli-Verona. And again, that's how you deal with something like that. We all know it, guys. We know that the media in Italy, the majority of it is against Juventus. And we've said it so many times. We're surrounded. Agnelli has said it. And anytime Juventus have success, they talk about, what about this incident? What about that incident? They're trying to create controversy to sell papers, but they also know it's popular for other groups of fans as well. So they do it, and this reporter's question was very suggestive that that Verona were doing Juve a favor, and that's just BS in my view. So what do I want to say about that? I mean, that's it really. I'm going to move quickly onward. Mundo Deportivo is talking about Zidane this morning. Zidane, we were expecting, will give his word to Florentino Perez this week, potentially even today already, whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go. And if he goes, we're hoping he goes to Juventus. If not, then maybe someone else will. But he seems to be the key to set this carousel of managers in motion. And so the news is basically Zidane has taken a week to go on holidays and potentially to think about it, and he might give his word. Who knows? He might say this week, he might call Perez, we might have news, but this indicates that we won't hear anything until maybe next week. Zidane needs some time to think, and that's understandable. That's fair enough. So moving on again to Twitter, Giorgio Chiellini made some comments after the game. He says, until the end, it's not just a slogan, but a way of living, fighting and playing. We've repeated it so many times this season. We didn't give up when everything seemed compromised, or when everything seems against us. Fino alla fine, guys. There's a guy who just lives and breathes it. And he's been, in the last few games, he's just been immense. He's been so good, and we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him very, very much. I did a post today then as well, just celebrating Ronaldo's Capo Cannoniere. We know he lost out last year, and this year, even with missing the last game, he still won the Capo Cannoniere race. So that's 29 goals, 3 assists, a goal every 97 minutes. That's 0.9 goals per game and 5.1 shots per game. The GOAT did his job, guys. Anyone who wants to criticize Ronaldo, you need to have a good look at the facts first. I know his performances haven't been great every week, and I agree with people, but he's done his job. We can't ask any more. Moving on then again, Mirko Di Natale reports the words of Pirlo again. I would reconfirm myself 100%, but I don't decide. And the rest of it, he talks about the decision related to Ronaldo, which I've already talked about. He doesn't decide. That's fair enough. He probably knows, these decisions aren't made at the drop of a hat. They're not made on the spur of a moment, like what happened with poor Gattuso last night. Things like these, the dust is allowed to settle, and then with calm heads, decisions are made. Seasons are assessed, and that's respectful. That's how Juve operate, and I wouldn't expect anything different. Moving on now, again, a really great journalist, Guido Vaccaggio in Tutto Sport. I follow him every week. He's talking about the Exor Group shareholders meeting, which is going to happen this Thursday. This group is headed up by John Elkann. If you don't know, he's been turning up to Juventus's games of late. He was at the Coppa Italia. I'm not sure if he was in Bologna. He probably was. And they're talking about Juventus accounts, basically, and the disarray that they're in and the bad state that they're in due to COVID. Like all other, big European clubs, they're going to close the budget this year with a huge deficit. And he's suggesting that these liabilities could lead the owners to launch a capital increase in the coming months. It's something that's been circulating in recent weeks without confirmation, but key here is not denial. So people have been talking about it and nobody's ruled it out. I've seen it in Calcio Finanza as well. The Exor shareholders meeting could be an appropriate occasion to talk about it, although it's not essential to do so on that occasion. And, previously in the article, he talks about the upper management and the decisions that need to be made there around Paratici, Nedved, even obviously Pirlo, and others, and the backroom staff. So I'm sure they have a long agenda list of things they need to deal with. But this is definitely on the agenda. It may not be dealt with this time. It could be next time. But expect that the Juve and the Exor Group will support Juventus and at least take care of the deficit that they will be in, that they are in post-pandemic, and that will hopefully set us on a much better path for next season. Fingers crossed, guys. We need all the help we can get. We need all the money we can get. And just to remind you, the Champions League football actually gives us around 100 million. So that's it's just a major help. So yeah, guys, this has been another CP news update on my channel JuvePWR. I want to thank everybody for their support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to keep you guys updated every day. Ciao, ragazzi.